Ad Astra Boys! Ad Astra Boys! I know it is my Mahomes' house. We're wondering, I don't know, it's going to be away for the first time in his career. We'll get to that later. But anywhere he goes, it is Mahomes' house. Welcome once again. This is the Ad Astra Boys Sports Podcast. I am the KC Walton. Over here on my right is the original T.I. And over here on my left is Joe Hooters. And yes, we too have taken off our shirts at Arrowhead Stadium and have been banned and kicked out from there for showing too much bosom. Because I have a C cup.
They're pretty big.
You're lying. You at least carrying a D over there.
Man.
All right. Thank you, T.I. Okay, man. So, man, it's been a little while. Joe Hooters, I haven't seen you on the show for about a month. Me and T.I. held it together last week, and we had some predictions and what have you. And I think we did all right.
I think we did okay.
Yeah, we did okay.
Probably like 60-40.
Yeah.
So I'll say your prediction on where I was at last Saturday was spot on.
Why you couldn't join the show?
Yeah. I was by the time I got up, I was like, oh man, what time is it? And then I was like, oh,
I'm curious. What time was that
was
you got
your phone
up?
like off?
My phone was missing for a bit. Yeah. So
I would like to know what time he found his phone.
I don't know.
Very
I mean, it
interesting.
was definitely after the 1 o'clock deadline.
Okay.
And then we gave you a half hour to 1:30, and then we realized that's dumb. Yeah.
That was dumb.
It's not like
That
he's
was
going to wake up out of nowhere and like, you know what? Ad Astra Boys is about to record. I should chime on in. And I appreciate Fuck Ken not helping and Tricky Dick not helping, JPD. So, but we had a great show anyways. Actually, it was over an hour, man.
Yeah,
we had a lot to cover for some
it
reason.
went like, I forgot we had 2 different clips actually.
Yeah, we covered a lot of COVID.
We did. We had about a 5-minute COVID story.
I did one on the few clips that are out right now.
Actually, it was longer than 5 minutes.
My favorite one was when Tony's like, hey, do this, you know. And you were all like, oh, you do this.
Oh, yeah.
No.
The Miyagi.
I was
Tony-san.
I was like, is Tony fucking with us right now?
Hey,
Yeah.
real shit, man.
Ooh.
Real shit. It works.
It does work.
Oh,
I can
man.
smell.
I don't know.
But next
Walt's
time-
had the peanut butter bit.
I
He shared
don't-
the secret of peanut butter. It
I
saved
don't
his
think
smell.
I don't. Oh, is that out on a clip right now?
Oh, it was.
Yeah, it was on the same
last
clip.
one.
It
Did
was
you
on the
watch?
same-
Hold
yeah.
on. Did you watch the entire last clip that I put out?
It was so fast, he probably didn't catch it.
I watched everything that's been put out. I've watched.
Okay, so you watched the last minute of it
Okay, yeah.
when his voice slowed down. That's when it.
Oh, when he
did
was
it.
like super fat Waltz.
When
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
sounding pretty
tortas.
Yeah.
He
I
said
ate 2
tortas.
tortas, but I was so sick. I only ate 1. Yeah, that was funny. All right, hey, don't forget to like us down there, man, and you can share it all you want. Actually, give me some comments. So
There was a comment.
Don't
on,
just like.
one of your-
Also subscribe.
Yeah, there was a comment on your guys' first one you put out from last week. Did you guys not check that out?
no, I did not.
I did see the comment, but I forget what the comment.
That was pretty
said.
funny. I was
Said
cracking
something
up.
about our host in the middle, Casey Waltz.
He couldn't keep his fat face in the screen.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's what it was. He's like, why can't we?
Did you
keep
make
it
a
in
comment?
No, it was just some random guy.
Really?
He was like,
Some
why?
random guy.
What'd he say?
He's like, why can't the fat one keep his face in the screen?
He
Yeah.
did not, did he?
He did. He
Oh,
did.
I gotta see that shit.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
hey,
like the comment.
on the editing, if you could copy and paste and put it up here, that'd
Yeah.
be great.
That will be great.
That
Wait
will
until
be
you
great.
see it.
I love that. I don't know. You know why? Because it was weird. Because that was the first time we tried it from home to broadcast from home, and it worked. It was like, hey, this is great. So on my screen, I saw my entire self, including my background, which I wanted to show all of my little mini bar in my kitchen. And then T.I. was like, man, hey, I can only see like kind of like half of you. So I kind of moved over.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how short it was until the clips came out. And then with him, I saw, the entire thing.
Hold on.
And we had a mirror, so we got to see the back of your neck. a
Yeah,
lot,
I saw
too.
that. Yeah, the back of my
I
head.
forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinning a little bit. All right. So, what else happened this past week? Anything else before we move on to Spizzorts? I'm just trying to be cool like the kids nowadays.
Right,
man.
Is that what the kids do on their sports
Spizzorts.
podcast?
Spizzorts? I don't think so. I don't think they say
Oh, Spizzorts. Yeah. That's the
Gleek.
first time I've heard somebody say
Come on,
Spizzorts.
bro. That's Gleek. It's rad.
You're doing too much right now, Waltz. That's something they definitely say.
You're sounding a little sus. You're sounding a little sus.
Did you say sus?
Yeah, that's right. That's sus.
Is that suspect?
Yeah, no, that's a word that the young kids are using today.
Is
Yeah,
that half a suspect?
I
or
learned
what
that, I
does
learned that word
mean?
from Zane. I learned it from Zane. Yeah, it's sus. Yeah,
Like,
you're looking sus,
they
man.
keep on getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, it makes sense. Evolution.
These are the fucking kids that are going to be taking care of us.
Yeah, that's
Remember
right.
that shit.
Ooh, yeah.
Remember that shit. All right, well, fuck it. You guys, if there's nothing else that happened this past week, you guys, other than, by the way, we're broadcasting here in Kansas, and it has been super gray. I have not seen the
man.
sun in like 30 days. You can see how pasty I am, and I'm Mexican.
I know
And,
you're almost dude. You're almost as white as Joe and I.
I know.
You're on
It's
our
interesting.
level, bud.
Actually,
Yeah.
I think I'm whiter than you guys.
I know way you're whiter than Tony.
You guys are super Anglo-Saxon.
I'm still the whitest
Yeah. Well,
currently.
man, yeah, it's been sucking, but it's gonna get better. It's gonna be like spring-like temperatures. So.
I remember one time when Tony fell asleep at the pool. He was not white no more.
Ooh, he was as red as this ball right here.
Man, dude, it looked, he was a painful red.
man.
A
It was a painful red. I
man.
was. Dude, and for whatever reason, I remember Scott was in town, and me and him played one-on-one in your. We played one-on-one in the backyard, and I was like the red crab. I kicked his ass, by the way. Yeah.
He said it was painful, huh? It was painful.
Well, the next day, right? Because that was I think that was either the same day or the next day, but it was like 2 or 3 days later, dude. I remember like I woke up and I was like everything looked blurry because my eyes couldn't open all the way. And yeah, it just looked like my face just looked like a wrinkled purse that sat out in the sun for too long.
Well, that's what kind of happened.
Yeah,
Huh?
it took like 2 or 3
a
days.
wrinkled purse that sat out in
Yeah.
the sun too long.
Oh yeah, it was not good.
I have never seen that.
Well, maybe we'll do a trial.
Yeah, we should do that at a trial. Yeah,
Surprised y'all
know,
didn't take a picture.
Well, that was before phone cameras.
king crab.
That was
I
man.
guess
That was
the
like,
phone cameras weren't all that. Even if we did have them back
No.
then. Okay,
I-
makes sense.
Is that how old we are?
Dude, I guess.
Because
Shit.
no, that's because that's I didn't even have a phone. when
I
that
mean,
happened.
was I working at Verizon Wireless yet?
No,
Nope, I wasn't. Okay.
Shit.
You're
I think
right,
he
you're
was
right.
doing the fancy vacuums.
I don't think
Oh,
it was
yeah.
even Verizon back then.
Oh, yeah.
Another funny story, Ti story.
All right, let's go ahead and move it on. Where everybody wants to talk about nowadays with this bowling ball you see here. Lenny Dawson, he's even waking up because he's loving what he's seen.
Yes, he is.
Well, it's always this time of year the Chiefs poured on, man. This is Chiefs time.
All right, so last time we talked, so we were gonna play the Buffalo Bills. All right, so when you and I talked, Ti, we were talking about the Miami Dolphins game and how it was frozen. They were frozen. They were not prepared, ill prepared. They
Yep.
were terrible. But then, just give me a real quick synopsis or opinion. What you think if we would have been at a neutral site where the temperatures would have just been fine compared with who they had, Miami Dolphins, and who we had at the time? What do you think?
I don't think the temperature would have changed anything because the way I look at the game, I knew that coming into the game with McDuffie, with Jalen Watson, with Snead, I knew that we were going to shut down the wide receivers, right? We got one of the best back ends in the
Corners.
entire NFL, corners,
Safeties.
safeties, right?
Yep.
And I also knew where we were kind of weak, where they like to attack our linebackers. So I did expect that we were going to see them throw a lot to Dalton Kincaid, maybe their other tight end. And
No, I'm talking
the
about
run
the
game.
Dolphins. Dolphins first.
Oh, the
Just a
Dolphins?
real quick, real quick
Oh, shit.
opinion.
Oh.
If it wasn't so frozen here, we played against them here in our own version of the frozen tundra, the coldest game ever in Chiefs history. If we would have played in a neutral site, that would like normal temperatures.
Same
What do you
result.
think?
Same result.
Okay.
We shut down Tyreek once. We shut him down twice. We would have shut him down again.
Joe?
Yeah, I think it'd been the same result, but they might have had a little bit more chance, whatever. But I think in the end, it'd been the same. Miami had a lot of injuries coming in. That's another thing I want to talk about when we get to it. But yeah, we'd have beat them. No,
Yeah.
anywhere.
Good.
Anywhere,
Okay.
anywhere.
So then we played against the Buffalo Bills, and man, it was a game that I knew it was going to be. It was going to be an exciting game. And then once again, we struggled in the first quarter. What did I when I text you guys? What did I say? Once again, only one possession in the first quarter.
So yes, the teams are just they're trying to move the ball slow with small plays, whatever, to keep us off the field.
Well,
And
yeah,
it's
because
the defense. It's the defense that
they're-
struggles,
yeah.
and they can't figure it out until the second half.
Yeah.
But once again, in the first quarter, the reason why, and we hate as Chiefs fans to see Patrick Mahomes, they always pan over to Patrick Mahomes on the bench. He has his mouthpiece and he's chewing on it. He's kind of looking up, whatever. That's what we don't want to see. And we can never get a 3-and-out in the first quarter. This is what took so long. They were just wiping out the clock, and we had one possession again. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Maybe two?
In the first
thought it was one.
quarter,
Yeah.
I think maybe just one.
Okay.
So I
in
think the
first
problem
quarter.
with that is they were coming out with a 2 tight end set on most plays, right? 2 tight end set, 2 wide receivers, and a running back in the back, right?
Great.
And
for them, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the way you try to attack the Chiefs, because that's going to allow you to try to attack the linebackers. But the issue I thought in the first half that really hurt us is, correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't see it. I don't think we had a spy on Josh Allen.
We did. And
did?
Willie Gay got hurt.
Okay.
And
So,
then,
yeah.
in the first quarter, I believe he got hurt, and then we had no spy for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Okay,
he was
okay.
spying on him for the majority of the first quarter, but then he got injured. And then, so throughout the game, I was thinking to myself, okay, Willie Gay was the spy. He wants to make sure if he's going to run, I will meet you. But then he got injured. Wouldn't the backup Tranquil or anybody else do the same? It's still the same defensive plays, right?
You probably could have a linebacker do it because, like, Willie Gay has freak linebacker speed. So there's probably no other linebacker that can keep up with Josh Allen like Willie Gay. So maybe if they'd have had a safety or something, maybe spy on him. But yeah, I think after Willie Gay went out, they kind of had to start something new because no one has his speed at the linebacker core.
Okay, but when you call the defensive plays, aren't they the same even if Willie Gay was in there or not? Or they just completely throw that out and then do something else because nobody's as fast as Willie Gay?
It could be to do with the personnel that they have in there, right? So they know with the personnel in there that, hey, we're probably better off if we play it this way based on their skill set.
Right.
That would be my guess.
I would say that's right. Like when Willie Gay's out there, they have this set that they're going to run. When Drew Tranquil or Chanel is out there, they have to run this different set. Again, I'm not a defensive coordinator in the NFL, but I'm just a wild guess.
So then we move into the second quarter. It was kind of the same deal. Buffalo Bills was owning us. They were owning the game. They were running. They were throwing. I mean, the whole, like you said, 2 tight end. Both of those tight ends were really good. Kincaid and what's the other kid's name?
Knox. Yep.
I mean, that's
They
going
led
into the
Bills in
game.
receiving.
Yeah, going into the game, we knew that that's what they were going to do, and yet they did it. Diggs was shut down by who?
Was it McDuffie or Snead?
That was
Legarius
Snead.
motherfucking
Snead time, baby.
Snead.
It's always
So
Snead time.
he was not a factor. He was
1 catch for how many yards? Or was it 3 for 24? It was either 1 for 24 or like something like 3
No,
for
he
24.
had-
I think he had a couple, but
Yeah,
not a lot of
yeah.
yards.
I think it was 3
Yeah.
for 24 yards,
That sounds-
something like
sounds
that.
I want to say 3. Yeah, I want to say 3. But once again, Legarius Snead shut down another prime receiver. So we weren't worried about that. It was the 2 tight end deal. And then their running game was working. And then Josh Allen was running his ass off. And I give him props. He did not turn the ball over. So in the second quarter, once again, we were still struggling. Oh man, I wish I had the Joe Namath thing. I don't care.
Glad we don't have it.
Real quick,
Struggling.
Diggs had 3
It
for
is funny.
21. 3 for 21.
3 for
21.
21.
Yes.
What's that noise?
Your ice?
Thought that was
What?
somebody's phone going off. Come on, guys, turn off your phone.
Walter's on the case.
I'm glad he's not a detective, huh?
Right.
Oh man.
That's why I'm only a supervisor.
There you go.
So Yeah, so the second quarter, once again, it's like, ooh, man, that's looking kind of tough. So Pacheco was running his ass off. Travis Kelce looked relaxed. He looked refurbished. He looked like,
He looked back.
yes, thank goodness for that game that didn't count, that ended up being our own bye week.
Yeah, that was obviously it looks like it was a good idea that he stayed out and got some rest and healthy.
I also appreciated that they didn't show Taylor Swift a whole lot.
Because Jason Kelce was still in the show.
He was still in the show, man.
How is
Jason
he
Kelce's the man?
How is he still in the show?
Well, he took his shirt off.
Well, and I don't know if you
why
guys know.
us chunky folks have the
he
chance.
He had a wool vest. He had a wool vest under his shirt.
He did.
He has a JPD vest.
Dude, I was just about to say that. I was like, wait a minute. I see
Shout out to
somebody
JPD
with a better vest.
Yes.
I mean,
at least JPD has front and back.
So here's the thing. So Jason Kelce actually did more than just take his shirt off, right? Yeah. So he did a couple things. I don't know if you guys seen it that went viral.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, you guys
he helped
did.
the two little girls out,
Let him meet Taylor.
Yeah, he picked up one. And he was like, Taylor, look at the.
I remember watching when it showed him come out of the window originally. I was like, man, he looks like he don't got like his total equilibrium together, right? Because he looked like he didn't have his balance 100%. Then I see him pick up that girl, and I was like, oh, he's probably fine. But me, I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, he's stepping on snow.
I know he was retired.
Like,
I know that. I know
down, man.
Well, not technically because he never actually announced it, but I know he's kind of retired. But when he hopped out of that window and landed on that ice, I was thinking, oh shit, that's a big dude.
He was pretty. When he jumped back in the window, I was like, man, that was a pretty good jump there.
Pretty athletic move
there,
man. Hey, he does play in the NFL, so
his wife finally went over to him and said, get the fuck in here.
I thought
because
they sent Silky P over there to get him.
I did see Silky P.
Okay.
But his wife said, hey, you need to get back in here because what was happening, the security and the police officers were trying their best to make sure it wasn't such chaos. After a while, it was getting worse and worse. And then finally she said, get your ass back in here. You're making it harder on them.
He told her when they went in there that he was going to take his shirt off. And she's like, don't you dare.
He's like, oh, now I'm doing it.
No, he was like,
I was kidding before.
No, he was like, I'm not asking permission. I'm doing it.
Yeah. His wife is super fucking awesome. And she's actually pretty good, cute. Yeah. So they interviewed her, and I guess one of his bucket lists for that day that he went out and about for the tailgating with the Buffalo Bills fans, right? He wanted to get thrown into one of those famous tables that they do. The Buffalo Bills Mafia, what they do is they throw each other in the table and break it, and it could be on fire or not, whatever. So he wanted to, but for some reason, nobody did it. He didn't end up doing it. So he was getting hyped up.
Who's going to pick him up and throw him on a table?
Well, nobody. He could just fall off of one of those campers or whatever.
The people that are probably his people or that are around him probably are not going to let him do that.
Easy.
Oh my God! You're on fire, dude! Roll! Just drop and roll! Jesus! The bad idea. Yeah!
Retired. So
well, we don't know that. We don't know about that just yet. I kind of feel with a guy like him that he's the type of person that wants to announce that it's his last year. I could be dead wrong, but I feel like him and Kelce may try to retire together, which would be kind of awesome.
But no.
I don't want that to happen because that means Kelce will retire sooner than we want. But
I mean, Jason Kelce's already 37. And that's fucking pretty old for a lineman in the NFL. I mean,
he's still what? Did he not get?
I mean, he's still performing at a high level, but man,
there you go.
So the Chiefs are going to sign him and put him at center, and they're going to move Creed over to right or left. Did you guys hear about that?
No, it's not going to happen. No, we wouldn't mess with Creed.
No,
that would be.
You heard it here.
You wouldn't up into a guy that's young and in his prime. I mean, no.
Kelce might be going to guard.
Hey, we'll see what happens with Tooney and Trey Smith. We don't know how they're gonna be when they come back. No, you
heard it first here. We're gonna sign them, and then
Yep, you haven't heard that anywhere else but here.
That's right. Ad Astra Boys, AAB.
Now you know what's going to happen. You're going to start hearing it from other outlets. They're going to hear it. They're going to hear that we said
we
it.
have proof.
And now Sports Center.
We
You're going
have
to start
proof.
hearing it on Sports Center.
And Schefter's going to be like, hey,
in some fringe article in the corner of the dark web.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be like, yeah, the guy that was jiggling his eyes. He's like, what's that song?
Yeah.
That guy.
That idiot. He predicted it. You damn right I did.
That's the
Schefter.
guy.
Damn it, Schefter. At least give us a chance on ESPN for 1 or 2 minutes.
So we kind of touched on it a bit earlier, but so the two teams, they're kind of like a big deal about how the two teams we've played so far in the playoffs have both had a lot of injuries, and the Ravens are pretty healthy.
Very healthy.
So,
This is the best Raven team that I have seen under Lamar Jackson. The best.
Complete. The
And then we're going to go over to their backyard. And then our injuries are a little bit worse. Tooney is out. That's
Tooney's
a
out.
big fucking deal.
Notty's out for the second straight game.
Well, Notty was,
He's
Notty
out.
was out last week, and then he's out again. That's going to be kind of tough.
We got
So is Willie Gay playing?
question mark.
Willie Gay is
He's
playing.
got the what was that a neck
questionable.
issue,
That
right?
means, he re-injured his neck. It kind of stinged it, whatever. But he's
Okay.
ready to go. He's going to play.
Pacheco's questionable. He's got
He's
a
going to
toe
play.
ankle issue.
He's going to play.
And then
Bro,
yeah,
he
he'll
played
play.
last year with a broken wrist.
Did you hear what Richard Sherman said about him?
Running Isaiah Pacheco runs like somebody who didn't have a lot growing up, and he was like he's frustrated at the world. And
Yeah.
But it was like the perfect thing to say because it seems so true.
I've always said Isaiah Pacheco runs like his mama just yelled at him and tell him to go to his room.
Yeah, he's getting out of there, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And stomping the fucking ground. So our injuries are pretty
They're stacking up a
significant,
little
but
bit.
good thing is that we have depth.
On the defense, we do have depth. I think we
And
have a lot of good
I
depth.
think I was a little worried last week, and as far as the depth goes, that did make me feel better because they came in, they performed, they were solid. I missed the guy's name, one of the linebackers that came in. He was actually making a lot of plays right off the bat. I don't know.
Leo Chanel, Drew Tranquil.
Drew Tranquil, no, not him.
I think it was
'cause he's-
Chanel.
Yeah, it was probably Chanel. Yep.
Chanel, yeah, he's been around. So actually, he was a starter like maybe last year or whatever.
Hey, if you're watching at home and we got it wrong, comment right down there below and let us know who it was.
Cause,
and leave the emojis alone with the whole flipping off thing.
Because we got a lot of things wrong. I mean, the whole premise of our show is, hey, bunch of buddies at the bar having drinks, bullshitting about sports. And when that happens, there's a lot of facts that get out there that aren't actually facts.
Sometimes we write down stats.
Yeah.
Majority of the time we don't.
Hey,
And when we write them down, we're probably wrong anyway.
we're just
And-
having a good time, having drinks, and just trying to throw some stuff out there.
Yep. And sometimes we'll edit the show to correct it, and sometimes we won't.
I do like the check mark and red X's on the show. I do. That's my favorite part of the editing.
Yeah, so we have a tall order ahead, right? You said it. We did face a couple of teams that had some key injuries, but let's be honest, we had some key injuries too, right? But we're now coming into this game with a couple key injuries, playing the best defense in the NFL. One of the things I found intriguing about them is that I can't think of I don't think they have like an elite edge rusher, right? I can't think of any names that come to mind.
They do have a guy that's pretty good. He's not. They have.
They have to, right?
Yeah.
I know they
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to, but I do know this fun factoid. I seen this today that they're 27th in the NFL in blitz rate. So, with that being said, they are number 1 in overall sacks with 60.
So then they can get sacks without blitzing.
That's what that means.
That's not good.
That's not that's not good, right? So, what do you guys think? What are some of the keys to victory for the Chiefs?
So here was a point that I wanted to make. Because I know Patrick Mahomes, he can come out. I think he can do whatever he's going to do against any defense that's ever been in the NFL. I don't think that's going to bother him. I think with the main thing here is, can we get our running game going against that defense, especially with Joe Tooney out, Pacheco a little banged up. Is our line going to be make those holes so Pacheco can hit him or Clyde can hit him and we can have a productive running game?
When you say Pacheco's banged up, I don't think it's just a report. He's the same as he was last week. He is ready to go. He's going to run all over them.
So Walter's
Now-
saying he's going to get the shot for the game.
Yeah. So, but even if he's fully healthy, it's like, okay, is Clyde gonna be able to be productive
Yes.
enough to give
He is gonna be a
Pacheco
big-
break?
yeah.
And
He's going to be a big deal. Now, on the opposite side, are we afraid of their wide receivers? Odell Beckham, Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers pretty solid, right?
He is pretty solid.
Well, here's the thing.
He's a rookie.
Yeah, the rookie. He is pretty solid.
You cannot sleep
then
on
that's
those
it.
guys. You cannot sleep on those guys. But
And Mark Andrews is coming back.
he is.
Yeah,
think
but
it's-
at what percentage?
I don't know.
You know what? He's had a lot of rest, so he might be good, right? But
fresh.
true. What percentage?
A lot of rest, but he was a horrible injury.
Yeah.
It looked
Well-
like he was broken.
Well, just like we shut down Diggs and them, just like we shut down the Dolphins, right? You have Snead, you have Jalen Watson, you have
Yeah.
McDuffie out there. I'm not worried about the receivers. Who I am worried about is Isaiah Likely and Mark Andrews.
Yeah.
And
Likely.
perhaps Justice Hill.
Good point.
Justice Hill, we got to keep an eye on him. I think they're going to try to throw him some short screen passes. This last game he had, I don't remember, but he did really well catching the ball. So that's the key, I think. And then we have to have a spy at all times on Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, is he gonna get a lot of running yards? I think he's just gonna be running all over the place.
So Lamar Jackson this past season decided to become a pocket passer. He doesn't want to run anymore. There was some plays, some games where he was wide open to just to run, and he refused and just tried to just force a pass in. It's almost like he's getting to the point of his career where he's realizing, I need to save myself. I want to be a pocket passer. That's what we have for us. He's going to run when we pressure him, and he has no choice. You know why? Because McDuffie's going to shut his receiver down, and we're going to have Snead shutting his receiver down, and we're going to be spying. So hopefully that's going to work. Once again, Lamar Jackson, he crumbles in the playoffs. Now, likely, I'm a little afraid of him. And then the running game in the first two quarters are going to be pretty good. But then we're going to adjust like we always do in the second half, and the running game is going to be obsolete because they're going to try to go with the running game of Lamar Jackson, and they're going to try to throw downfield to try to catch up, because at halftime, we're going to be up, not by much, but we're going to be up enough where they're going to start to panic, and they're going to get rid of the running game. And then they're going to try something different. And once again, they're going to crumble, and the Chiefs will move on in the worst showing under Patrick Mahomes' history. This is the worst team I have ever seen. But we made it work, and we made the adjustments, and here we are in the playoffs. I was the first one to say.
You think this is the worst team?
He's talking about the Patrick Mahomes era. I think
Right,
that's
right.
what
Yeah,
you're saying.
yeah.
It's not.
Okay. I don't know, because maybe
It's the
our
worst offense. It's the worst offense.
Yes.
By far.
Yes.
Easy
but
to
our
say.
defense has rose so high.
Yep.
Which
And in the
I wanna
playoffs,
say-
defense tends to
yeah.
outplay
But I will
offenses.
say it has been the worst offense.
It has. But I want to say something real quick before we get off Lamar Jackson, right? And I think the question is this. And
You going to let me
kinda-
respond?
No, not yet. But the question is this: is what were you going to respond to?
I was going to say that, yes, I agree with you on that. It was like the worst offense ever under Patrick Mahomes. And the defense, yes, I agree. It's the best defense we've ever had. But in the first two quarters, in practically every single game, they struggled.
Yeah. So here's the thing with Lamar Jackson, right? And I think here's the question: how is Lamar Jackson going to do in the biggest game of his life? And that's the truth, right? This is going to be Lamar Jackson's biggest game of his life.
Biggest game.
It's not Patrick's biggest game of his life,
No.
right? So who has more pressure?
I was going to ask that. Do you think that this is our biggest AFC championship compared to all the rest in the past against Burrow, against, whoever else? Don't you
Is this
think
the best team that we're playing?
The toughest team that we're
yeah.
going to have to
yeah.
Isn't
surpass
this the
to make
most
it to the Super
important
Bowl?
one that you think?
The most recent one's always going to be the most important one.
And I think this is most important for the Chiefs' legacy.
Very much so. Yes. And
for this era,
if we want to continue to call us a dynasty, that is a very important
Yes.
game.
Could you imagine one of our worst seasons that we continued on in the playoffs and made it to the
Yeah.
Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl? Then I will never, ever, ever, ever question any kind of season. Even if we were to start out 0-6, I don't give a shit. We're going to win the Super Bowl that season. I will never question again.
As long as we don't have a situation like the Bengals had this year. Burrow gets hurt and he's out and they suck. I mean,
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Well, here's
Yeah.
what we have. So we got one of the best offensive minds, so they say, right, in Andy Reid, and I
Mhm.
believe that. He's definitely has some competition coming up on him, but we're also going against arguably the best defensive coordinator in the NFL. Like, what is this, Mike McDonald? The way they talk about him, like they say that guy's a genius. So it'll be very interesting. We're going to definitely have to keep Patrick on his feet. We don't want to see him on his back. And man, we got to keep catching the ball.
And can I give I hate to say this. Can I give Juwan Taylor a little bit of
Oh,
credit for the
man.
last
Dude.
couple of games? Can I give him a little bit of credit the last couple of games? And then who's the other character on
He
the
deserves it
other
for
side?
that last game.
Yes, man. You know what? They stepped up. Playoff time. This is the time they need to step up, and they sure did.
The other guy's something Smith, right?
Yeah,
Dwayne, something Smith.
Something Smith. Trey Smith.
No, there
It's
is a
not
Trey
Trey Smith?
Smith. That's a guard. Who's the other tackle? I thought it was something Smith too. I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know. Off the top
It's
of my
Trey
head.
Smith.
We'll pop it up
He
here if I
is
remember.
the guard. Guard.
Yep.
So I have a.
So, anyways, go
I
ahead.
have a question here. So I got two receivers. Who are the two most important receivers in this next game?
On which team?
Our team.
Oh, I think it's gonna be the same answer we gave last time. I don't know if you watched it.
Jackson Heights' very own Mr. Watson.
You say Mr. Watson didn't do jack shit last game, by the way. I thought he might, but again, I think it's MVS, right? Because he's
Yes.
proven that he is our deep threat. He is our most consistent deep threat.
We need MVS not to have a whole lot of catches, but he needs like last week. he
Just
had
catch the ones that
two-
are thrown to you.
Yeah, he had 2 for 60. He needs to have that one big catch with 2 big catches, and those were important catches last week.
Very much
That
so.
game that he had last week, that everything
Critical.
else that he did all season long, did it just disappear?
I didn't give a shit about
Yeah.
anything else he
Yeah.
did.
Right?
Sure
All that
did.
matters
Isn't that
is
weird?
right
Sure
now.
did.
That's some weird ass shit, right?
And
Right? That shit goes away quick, man. I'm
and
telling
the
you.
other receiver I wanted to talk about, who I was kind of high on when we got him, but now I'm like, we need to keep Hardman off the field.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't play hard.
What was
Been
his stats?
inconsistent, man.
His stats was what?
2 carries, 2 fumbles.
-1.
Oh man,
negative
look.
1 yard catching and then 2 fumble.
Man, it was.
I don't
rough,
think
man.
he'll look. I don't think he'll make that mistake again. But damn, dude, like
It was a tough game.
it's a tough game.
You know what? We have to support. We have to support him. Hopefully, he has a great game. Hopefully, he has at least 2 or 3 like catches and great yardage yaks
Well,
after that.
His saving grace might be that. Oh, if there is a saving grace for him, is that we won the game.
Yeah.
That's it.
And did you see where Travis Kelce took a lot of the blame for that fumble because he said he blocked his man into Hardman instead of blocking him away? He blocked him into him.
I'm not buying it.
No. McCall Hardman try to stretch
Oh
the
no,
field.
yeah.
To go to
No, it was all
And
Hardman. That
you
was
know
just a
what?
good teammate
It
trying
was.
to
Yeah,
help out
I
his
know,
buddy.
Yeah.
I know. No. He tried his best to try to get the tip of the football across the line to get a touchdown. Hey, I don't blame McCall Hardman for that, but you got to hang on to the ball. You got to know what the situation is. If you got 3 people on you, bro, you got to just go ahead and tuck the ball in and hang on. I get that. You try to stretch and do the best you can to get the touchdown, but know where you're at.
He
know
wanted
the
that playoff.
situation of the ball of the game. That game right there would have been won if he would have just not fumbled. Think about it. If we would have got a field goal or whatever would have happened, not that fumble.
Oh yeah, if we'd have scored there, that'd have been a wrap.
Hey, let's talk about that fake punt.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Oh yeah, dude. They tried to give DeMar Hamlin a moment in the playoffs.
Man, and we only had
Of all
10 people.
people.
We only had 10 people on the field.
All right,
Of all people, let's give it to DeMar Hamlin.
Let me set it up in my household.
All right.
So then, okay, so they're about to punt it off. I mean, what? They were 3 yards away, right?
It was like 4th and 5.
I thought it was 4th and 3, 4, something like that. So they needed like 3 yards, 4 yards to first down, whatever. But they were way on their own side, their own territory. So then they were about to kick the field goal or the punt, and I remember telling Monica, and I was like, "Oh, watch out for the fake." I was like, "No,
You
never
said that?
mind." I said that. So watch out for the fake. I was like, "No, never mind. Look how far they were. Never mind. They're way back there in their own territory. I'm not worried about it." And I'll be fucking damned. They tried to sneak that shit with only 10 of our players on the field, not 11, only 10.
And they didn't even get close.
And then again, anywhere close. They didn't even gain that fucking yard. But that poor Hamlin guy, he died last year, came back to life for that bullshit.
Just leave him alone, man. Just let the guy rest.
McDermott still has a job? That was around the time where the game was still close. You're making stupid ass decisions like that. I was fucking rolling. I was like, I can't believe this fucking happened. And you know what's funny is that they showed it later on Twitter, whatever, that one of our players, I forgot who it was, Willie Gay or somebody, not Willie Gay, because he was out. Somebody was like, one of our players, linebackers, was like, hey, watch out for the fake. Watch out for the. He fucking called it because he saw that shit. I don't know how. But that was stupid.
Oh, he saw somebody make a
move or like a setup.
Yep.
Yeah,
he's like, that's not normal.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Only takes one guy to fuck it up.
Well, since you called the punt, I called the missed field goal because I was like, he's going to miss this. He'd been.
Was that you that turned on the fan?
It was me, buddy. It was me. No, but no, their kicker had been flirting with that upright all night long. I was like, man, he's going to miss one.
First kick of the day.
I know the point afters or whatever. I'm like, ooh,
but he was barely squeezing them in there. I was like, a couple of them. I was like, man, if he was further back, could have missed that.
Yeah, and that's what he was. He was further back, and he fucking missed it. Now Tyler Bass, he's a great kicker. It was tough conditions, but he should have known that the wind was blowing to the right. You need to aim to the left.
Scott Norwood, another sighting. Sorry, Buffalo.
But our guy Bucker, he remained consistent, man. It's nice to have a solid kicker.
It is, dude. It's like a great feeling.
Remember last year he was struggling, and then like this year is
a
like
little bit of a spell.
Solid.
Well, he was struggling like extra points.
Yeah, I was never
really
worried. I was never
goals,
worried
extra
about him.
points,
Though. Yeah, I was like, why are we missing so many extra
points?
He was
injured. But he was injured.
He was injured because here the first game.
Tyler Bass, I don't know what was going on there, but
pressure.
In his defense, those fucking Bill fans were threatening him, death threats
during the game.
No, after the fact,
they said he had to turn off
all of his social media because he was getting too much flack.
Wow,
stay classy there, Buffalo. Yeah. And then a lot of Kansas City fans was donating to his favorite organization, charity for taking care of.
I mean, after shit like
adopting
that,
cats or something like that.
Even if the team wants you back, do you even want to play for that team? Like that'd be rough.
Your teammates are looking at you crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, we're gonna give me a trade here.
Something about New York, man. It's something about New York that they're just.
So we're getting ready to play in our 6th straight AFC Championship. That ties a record with New England.
Yeah, that's
Patriots. Right. So hopefully we can knock this one out and get one next year too.
Speaking of records with New England, so Kelsey and Mahomes have taken over Brady and Gronk for the most TDs from a quarterback and a catcher duo.
At 16, correct?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and I'll do my prediction.
Yep.
I'll do Chiefs 31, Ravens 24.
Okay. I think this is a defensive game. Both defenses are really good. So it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think we're going to win with the field goal again. So I will say, 24-21.
All right. I'm going to give my prediction. I'm going to agree with Richard Sherman on this one, and I'm going to say the Chiefs are going to take it 27-24. Shout out to Richard Sherman.
T.I.?
Thank you, T.I. You hear that?
Yeah,
thank you, Sherman. I didn't know who was listening.
Yeah. We're friends. We talk every now and then. You know, he has a podcast too.
All right.
We share that in common.
Do we want to talk about some of these new coaches that are popping up around NFL?
I know there's one in particular that you're wanting to talk about.
Well, I didn't like seeing Jim Harbaugh come to our division.
Yeah. Go ahead and bring that up, bro.
How did he do in college this year?
He won the championship.
They won the championship, ladies and gentlemen. And who's his brother?
John Harbaugh for the Ravens.
For the Ravens, number 1 seed in the NFL, man.
So Jim Harbaugh,
he's won everywhere he's went.
Yeah, over Michigan.
Both them guys.
He's the coach in Michigan, right?
Oh.
So then he was suspended a few games, but Michigan was so good that it ended up going to the bowl, the big bowl, right?
The playoff.
The playoffs, and so. Jim Harbaugh ended up winning the entire NCAA title. NCAA, in their infinite wisdom, was like, all right, man, hey, once you're done, hey, we need to talk to you because we have more suspensions and penalties and fines. And Jim Harbaugh said, fuck you, already won, bye. Took off running.
I'm out.
NFL, there you are, almost like crossing into the Mexican border, and now he's drinking pina coladas and margaritas here with the NFL. And NCAA was like, he can't do that. Can he do that? We need to suspend him even more. He's been, oh my God. So now he's going to the Chargers. Why would you sign up with the team knowing that you're going to be facing Patrick Mahomes twice a year? You're going to fail over and over again, never reach the playoffs, or well, you can reach the playoffs or the Super Bowl because Patrick Mahomes will not retire before you do, bro.
Well, Jim Harbaugh has a huge ego, like probably every NFL coach, so he probably thinks he can. Really, if they're in any other division, it's like okay, because they have a lot of good talent. I think he's gonna.
He should have went to the NFC.
Yeah,
and it's probably a spot where he might want to live. I mean,
San Diego's
the
a nice
geographics.
place.
He
The
kept on
geographics
sticking. He
could
kept on
definitely.
sticking with California. I give him. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he loves California. Is he from California? The Harbaughs?
I don't know. He coached at Stanford for a while,
and then he did the whole San Francisco bit.
Yeah,
so
so
something about California.
Might have some roots put down there.
So at least it's going to be exciting. Finally, we're going to have some kind of competition in the AFC West. So it is going to be. Well, they have Herbert. They have some badass wide receivers that we always kind of struggle with, and they have a really good defense. Yeah.
Bosa,
So he is actually inheriting a pretty good team.
He is. They have a lot of talent.
What about Keenan Allen? Is he kind of gonna start being on his way? He has
to be old.
Great
right?
bounce. He had a great bounce back year, but he did get injured towards the end of the year.
He always gets hurt, right? He gets hurt a lot.
But this is probably one of his healthiest seasons, actually.
Right.
And he started out like wildfire. I mean, he was on fire every week. And then what about their run game? Austin Eckler.
He's more like a guy catching the ball out of the backfield.
You know, I guess the thing with running backs, we're going to see running backs pop up and do well. So I don't think that's a concern.
Yeah.
I think the main thing is, can he get Herbert playing confident again?
Yeah.
That's the big.
I'm not even sure Herbert even lost confidence.
I think the man.
I
it always
think
seems
he
like
did.
their coaches did something.
I think their
stupid.
coaches are just dumb, and they're always. It's like a rotating carousel there, so it's hard to continuously learn a different system every single year or 2 years. So Herbert's a really good quarterback. He just needs some consistency, and that's what he's going to get with Jim Harbaugh.
He will, as I think he'll be a good players coach. So.
All right, enough with the San Diego Superchargers. By the way, I told you need to look up that theme song, bro.
Okay, so we're talking about hiring. Let's talk about a couple firings, right?
Okay.
So Pete Carroll, after 14 years,
Did he get fired, or they just kind of?
No, they said bye. They fired him. This official firing for him.
What gum do you think he chews? What brand?
It has to be pretty tough, huh?
Don't know.
It has to be tough. It has to last a long time, but he throws it out every 5 minutes and pops another one in.
Fresh breath.
Now, Belichick is no longer the coach, but we've known that, right? Now, that was more of a let's end this, nicely type deal, right? My question is Bill Belichick, is he going to retire?
You know what? It doesn't seem like he's getting too much because he had interviews with the Falcons, who hired a new coach. And with the
2
Chargers.
interviews. He had 2 interviews with the Falcons, and they hired another person.
Yeah.
So
I don't think anyone wants the old
Are
dog.
we done with the old school ways of Bill Belichick?
I think he wants too much power.
That's my thing. Is like I don't think anyone wants to deal with his ego, to be quite honest.
Yeah, and he's like, no, like I do everything. You guys do nothing. Like,
yeah,
no, that's not how it works anymore, buddy.
Yeah,
I think he is done coaching unless there's some desperate Raiders team out there that would do something stupid to hire him and give him a 10-year contract with $50 billion and then bust like the Chucky.
And then are we going to have, is McDermott going to get canned in Buffalo?
No, they already said they're going to keep him.
No, they said they're going to give him. Yeah, they say they.
I thought that
think
idiot
they have the
from the
pieces
Eagles
to still win, but
they said the Eagles guy's going. He's going to continue on.
Yeah,
Sirianni's going to keep on.
He's such a fucking.
Ron Rivera got fired.
Yeah, no one wants that job.
But here's the question: Is the enemy going to finally get a chance?
No,
he's
no,
not with Washington. I
No.
don't probably
Not with
no
4 and
one.
13.
no.
Yeah.
No, actually, Rivera. I think he already got picked up for a defensive coordinator. Right, with the team.
Probably.
Yeah,
did.
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot
like,
what team,
me
but
too.
he did defensive coordinator.
Well, when people were saying that we're struggling, they were talking shit on Matt Nagy, and they're like, "Oh, we need Bieniemy back. We need Bieniemy back." I was like, "Well, I bet Bieniemy wants to be back after coaching Washington."
Probably.
As a
Never know though.
man, he had no.
I would
fun,
imagine. Yeah. It's
I mean,
just
it's
more
different
fun
when-
to be here.
Yeah, it was different. You don't have Patrick Mahomes. Like, dude, my whole game plan has to change. I'm working with a mere mortal here.
Yeah, and then he had that quarterback that I forgot who that was, but actually he was leading in.
It was a young
all
Sam
kinds of
Howell.
stats. Sam Howell. He was
Yeah.
leading a lot of stats, but he had no offensive line.
It just seemed like their team is so blah. They're so mid.
Yeah.
See,
Are we going to talk about?
There's another good word for you there, but they're so mid.
Yeah, they're so mid.
We're all young.
Are we going to talk about the NFC matchup?
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead. Let me get some ice.
All right, Waltz is going to get ice. We got
and the Lions.
And the Lions, man, I tell you what, I thought the 49ers were going to fall. I thought they were going to fall, man.
And what happens if they don't miss that field goal at the end of the game? Then
I feel like
then that was it. Then there's no comeback drive by Purdy, and
yeah, that was painful to see.
Yeah, man.
But the Packers have a lot to look forward to, I think, for next year.
I think so too. I mean, I think the Packers had a little bit the game got a little bit too big for Jordan Love there. But it's a good experience for him. He had a hell of a year, and I thought he was going to suck, but
he did not. He did not, man.
Yeah.
He played really well.
He stepped up.
I'm just going to throw it out there because we don't probably want to spend too much time on this, but I think the Lions are going to beat the 49ers. I think that Amon St. Brown is going to have a big game. And I think Jahmyr Gibbs is going to have his best game of the season.
So is Debo playing? Do we know?
Debo is he went back to practice today, so I would say he's probably going to play.
I feel like he's a big deal to their offense.
He is.
I think, yeah, man.
He commands a lot of I think a lot of people just want to look at the stats sometimes, right? Like, oh, he didn't have any catches, or he only had a few catches.
Okay, but what if he was being double teamed?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. He commands so much attention on that field. Like, he's a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Debo Samuel is a problem. So
yeah, man. When he's
healthy
put attention on the field,
on him,
he's doing stuff.
I mean, everyone gets attention, right? Sometimes they miss somebody, but he's the type of guy that unless you got that shutdown guy, that elite top 5, 6 guy, that you're gonna have to double team
on your team.
Yeah, you're gonna have to double team that beast. So,
man, I think it'd be a cool storyline if the Lions won and made to their first Super Bowl and the whole Dan Campbell, biting people's knees and stuff.
So they hold a record that they probably don't want to hold. So they hold the record for they've lost the last 11 road playoff games that they played in. They lost them.
The Lions?
Yeah. So the last 11.
I can see that.
So they got a tall hill to climb. It probably would have made sense to say mountain, but that's all right. I don't have a lot of confidence in Purdy, though, and I think that's going to be the X factor of what's going to help the Lions win. Is I think that Purdy is going to come up short. He's going to come out, play a few good quarters, but I look to see him make a couple of big mistakes, and I think the Lions are going to capitalize. And as long as they can keep that run game going, I got the Lions by 4.
Man, I've never been a fan of Purdy. I'm like, why?
Never.
Like, everybody's been like, oh, he's so great. I'm like, is he?
He's had some good games.
I mean, he has a really good defense. He has Christian McCaffrey. He has Debo. He has fucking weapons around him. He has freaking George Kittles. This dude has 3 of the top position players.
Why don't you guys give him credit? I mean, you could.
No, he deserves credit.
He does deserve credit. He's still throwing the fucking ball.
Man.
He's still commanding shit out there, right? He's still calling audibles. Give him credit.
But how if he was on the Bills, how would he have done? Though is what I would look at. If he was on the Ravens, how would he have done? I mean, he might have done okay, but
yeah, he might have done okay.
He don't have a McCaffrey. He don't have a
He's
Kittle.
on a San Francisco team that's like elite. But
all right. We'll give Purdy his flowers. We'll give Purdy his flowers. Fine.
Purdy's mid.
Joe sounded a little sus over there with the mid talk.
So he said mediocre. It's like short for mediocre. He's just mead.
Yeah. All right, do you want to move on to some KU basketball real quick? Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
You got something else you want to throw in there?
Did you see what Joel Embiid did 3 days
Oh,
ago?
yes, throwing the 70 down.
70 points.
And,
Joel Embiid against the Spurs.
Yeah.
And not only did he do that, so 3 days ago, right, Joel Embiid scored 70 points, breaking Dr. J's 76er record. Not only that, he also went on to add 18 rebounds
And 5 assists.
and 5 assists.
So he's the only person, well, not him and Michael Jordan are the only people to score like 60, more than 15 rebounds and 5 assists. But on that same night, Cat from the Timberwolves scored 62, and that was all on the anniversary of Kobe Bryant's 81-point game.
Oh, wow. That's pretty amazing. I did not know that.
Yeah. But I knew Embiid was going to blow up because they're making a big deal, but that was the first time he was facing Webby.
Yep.
And Embiid takes that shit personal. He's like, fuck this kid.
18 rebounds for our man.
Yeah.
How many did Wemby have?
No, he had a good game too. He had like 33 points.
33 points.
He did have
7
a good
rebounds. 7
Yeah,
rebounds. So he got
yeah.
dominated on the boards.
I mean, but okay, I scored 33, but the guy I'm guarding scored 70. that's not a good game.
Yeah,
But he's a rook.
Yeah.
He's still a young kid. What is he? 17?
Yeah, he's still like that dare. He's still
18
like
or
that
19.
dare in the NBA. You know, the baby when it comes
He's
out
19.
of the womb.
You have to at least be 19 to play.
Still finding his legs.
Yeah. You'll be good.
In the NBA, you got to be 19.
Yes.
I mean, but for him to, so he's been a little bit disappointing to start, sure, but he's actually shown it, in my opinion, now enough solid games that I believe once he muscles up a little bit and give him a few more years, he's going to become a real factor.
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
All right, Rock Chalk J Hell KU. So we have been recently winning, but just kind of barely though, man. So
But we've also been losing.
yeah. So we were ranked up. We lost against UCF, and then we're still ranked number 3 even after that. But then we got bumped up to which one? 9?
Now we're 7 now.
7? Okay.
Yeah.
So then we whooped up on who was it? Oklahoma? No, Oklahoma State. Then we lost against West Virginia. That's why we got bumped.
Damn.
West Virginia finally beat us. Huggy Bear wasn't there.
He didn't
So
get
you
his
guys,
bonus.
you guys have been watching the game. So what would you attribute it to it more? Would it be more the defense or the offense?
Ooh, I say that they're not playing defense like a Bill Self team.
Defense
usually
isn't
play.
very good.
But another part of them, our 3-point shooting is not very good. We're not very athletic.
No. Furphy has stepped up, and his 3-point
Right.
shooting is a lot
Now,
better from
So
the
his
beginning.
last game, 22 points, 11 rebounds.
Yeah, record high, whatever.
Yeah,
but
well,
he
his,
just
for
started.
him.
Yeah.
But if he can come in and shoot the way he's been shooting and playing the way he's been playing,
I think that's why Bill Self has made him the number 5.
Yeah, man, came in and he's taking the opportunity and he's running with it, man. He is.
Yeah, he's
he makes all kinds of little. He makes all kinds of little plays, like little. He taps the ball here.
He's
the ball.
athletic,
man. Yeah,
that dude can get up.
Yeah, he finishes on the fast breaks. He's going to finish.
Oh
yeah.
So not Jalen Winston. Fucking out, Juwan. So yeah, so he.
What are you talking about?
Juwan Taylor. Juwan Taylor? No,
Juwan.
A point guard.
Harris.
Yeah, Juwan Harris.
Oh my god.
Juwan,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Okay, so
Continue
Juwan
on.
Harris. So he's still popping threes. He just
His threes are like.
I was a little late, but
Yeah.
we still wanted to get the
No,
credit.
it's still
His
good. though.
threes are
That's
like
still
wide
good.
open though. If they let him shoot, he's going to hit them, right?
Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. So he's still leading the court. I just the whole transition as far as defense goes, and then switching. I think what's his name? What's the big guy?
Hunter Dickerson.
Hunter Dickinson is still having issues and moving from side to side,
Yeah.
and then he was having some foul trouble the last couple of games.
The last game he did have foul trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was our best defensive player last year?
Probably Harris. He was a defensive player of the year.
Yes,
Yeah,
he was.
the our
Point guard.
I was just thinking about him. He's not on the team this year.
Yes, he
DeJuan
is.
Harris.
Oh,
Yes,
he
He's
is
our
on the
point
team
guard.
this year. We're gonna fucking edit that out. that
I
was
think we
embarrassing.
should edit it out this whole entire segment.
That was embarrassing. As
3,
fuck.
2, 1. So how about the KU Jayhawks? So now we're ranked number 7, right?
Oh shit.
So then we lost a couple of them to unranked teams. That was terrible. I think we're going to go ahead and talk about the defense, how the transition defense is not very good. The switching on the defense is not very good. Hunter Dickinson is still struggling. But Furphy, what about him, man? He stepped up, man.
He stepped up 22-11 last game. He's athletic.
We found our number 5. Am I right, Joe?
Yeah, he can come in. He can finish. He's a spark. He does the hustle plays too. I mean,
Man, I hate to say I've been missing the games, but every time they play, I know you guys are texting, and I see you guys.
Why are you missing the game?
I see Furphy's name pop up a lot for a couple of different reasons. One, a lot of times I don't know when they're on, and two, I usually got other things going on when they play at odd
Should we
times.
text you and
So
tell
this
you?
last time they were playing, I was watching football game, right? I was watching the Texans play.
You can go back and forth.
But I wanted to watch the Texans.
It is
so.
KU.
But I will watch them once the tournament starts. That's when I like to start watching.
Oh, that's that fan. That's that
Well,
fan.
no, it's not that that's
that
fan. I'm a busy guy, so
Uh,
hey, I ain't got time to watch all their games
but-
during the year.
yeah. Overall, KU, I think they're a pretty good team. It's not one of our greatest teams, but I think Bill Self will say that if we can start playing defense like he wants them to play defense, I mean, we'll have a chance.
You know
in-
what,
in
man?
tournament,
I know
for sure.
you're saying that's not one of our greatest teams right now.
They'll
But
turn it
think-
up.
I think once we hit the tournament, bro, I think it's going to be one of our best teams. I think we have all the pieces, man. We have the point
We don't
guard.
have.
We have the
yes.
center. We have the 2 and 3. Yeah, man.
yeah.
Think about it.
KJ Adams. But here's
We
the
were just
problem.
waiting for the number 5, and I think number 5 is
The
starting to
depth.
heat up.
The depth of the
Nope, depth sucks.
Yeah, after our
Sorry,
starting
depth
five.
sucks. Yeah,
I
Nope.
mean, Emilio Jackson, dude, that dude is just falling off a cliff, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Timberlake's supposed to be a 3-point shooter. He can't hit shit.
But if everybody else is going to start stepping up, I think our depth is going to start stepping up too. I don't know.
I would
man.
say the only thing that could be encouraging, right, is that I believe most teams, once they get into the tournaments, they start to turn up that defensive intensity, right?
Yeah.
You said that we're not the most athletic team, but my question would be this. Do you believe that if everyone really kind of, because they're going to do it during the tournament time, they turn it up, right? Do you feel that we have the guys that can turn up that defensive tenacity that will make a difference, give us those fast breaks,
Yes.
some of that stuff we haven't been seeing a lot of?
Yes, I think it's there. We just have to. And one role player I do like is is his first name Paul Brown, Christian's brother? Is it
Yeah.
Paul? I like when he comes in.
I don't think it's Paul, but yeah, it's Brown.
Oh, well, what's his brother? I know his last name's Brown, dummy.
It might be Paul.
All
But
right, so there we go.
but he got some good ups, man. He's had some nice dunks. He comes in and rebounds and gives Hunter a break and stuff.
Yeah, give Hunter a break.
As a
he,
big
he-
man,
he does give some good minutes, but I
Does Hunter get pushed around down in the paint?
No, he's just not very. He's not very mobile. He's not.
No, he's still pretty strong down
So
there.
not good
Brown
at closing
does.
space.
Brown
Not good at
gets
closing
pushed
the space,
around.
basically.
Well, I mean, he's not going to be able to guard someone in the open court, but I mean,
Gotcha.
still he's the center. That's why he gets all the rebounds. He's usually down there rebounding it up.
All right, we're getting pretty close to the end. Joe Hooters needs to go here in a little bit to watch the future NBA star.
Yes, Adonis Campbell. You heard
Adonis.
her?
Hey, how did he do in that first game that you went and watched, by the way?
So he did okay. So last year, he played pretty much a rec team, and he could do whatever he wanted. Score, whatever he wanted to do, he did. Well, this year he's playing a little bit more competitive league, and they was on him. So he struggled a little bit, but he still had the fire. So,
Okay. Well, yeah,
he'll get
because
there. He'll get there.
yeah, I believe that because you know what? If he hasn't seen competition like that before, he's used to what he's used to,
Right.
right? And so it's just an adjustment period.
Well, he was used to like in rec. He pretty much when he shot the ball, like no one was around him. Right. Everything was an open
Okay.
shot.
Yeah.
It was not that way last
So
week.
now he'll get used.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had
So
a- he had-
I
yeah.
predict in the future when he becomes an NBA star, you're going to be wanting the Adonis shoes. Did you get the number
Camels.
threes?
Oh.
Did you get the
Hell.
threes yet? They just came
Yeah.
out.
The kid might be a running back.
You can't afford the Adonis. Did you get him? You fake ass Adonis.
The ACs, baby. Oh.
Overtime. Okay. So, are we ready for
The
real
real-
quicks?
Let's do it.
Hey, sorry, just real quick. Ti.
We got our first real quick.
This is why you don't touch shit. All right? I know this is yours.
That was good timing.
This is yours. You purchased it, but don't touch it. Real quick. Hey, who won that UFC fight that we were talking about? That asshole or the other guy?
Oh man, so this is funny. So
Real quick.
Dricus Duplessis won the fight, and of course, so he's doing the interview after the post fight interview, right? This is after the fight outside of the cage, and they're telling him
So
like, "Hey,
Duplessis, what was his name? Duplessis?
Dricus Duplessis.
Duplessis. So he was the
He's
one
a
that
South-
had his
he's a-
children.
He's a white guy from South
Okay.
Africa.
Not the asshole, but the okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yes. So, anyways, so he won the fight. It was a very competitive, close fight. If you looked at their faces, it looked like Duplessis lost the fight. But I'll be honest, he won the fight. He did. But here's what's fucked up. So they're doing the post fight interview with the whole media, and they said, "Hey, what do you think about some of the criticism that some people thought Sean Strickland won the fight?" And he's just like, "I don't really care." He's like, "Who said that?" He's like, Dana White. So yeah, it's fucked up, right?
His boss.
So Dana White comes in, he puts the belt around Dricus Duplessis. He tells him congratulations, right? He's the first South African champion ever, right? So he's celebrating. All of South Africa's celebrating. And then the first thing Dana White says when he sits down for the post-fight interview, what did you think about the Sean Strickland and Duplessis fight? He's like, I gave it to Sean Strickland.
Oh yeah,
Like,
because he wants to
what
build. He
a
wants to build up a new.
shit.
He wants to build up another fight.
Well, and here's why. So
Marketing.
Sean Strickland's been very controversial lately, but sadly enough, or not sadly enough, it's catapulted him to stardom, right?
Sometimes it
It's
works
what's
that way.
making him a star. That's what's making a lot of people love him. Crazy enough, is some of his vile stuff that he's been saying. But yeah, man, Dana White's trying to back him.
And that was Ti.
Real
take
long.
of UFC. Thank you, Ti.
Forgot we was on a real quick.
Woo! That wasn't a real quick.
Be a
That was,
good time
that was
to
your
use
very
the,
own
I got
fast
one.
UFC.
Let's go. Real quick, Tyreek Hill files for divorce, but says he's still married.
Oh.
Well, yeah, he just filed it. Of course, he's still married. He just barely filed it. Is she the one who burned the house?
Oh, maybe we got a left eye situation.
Hmm.
Uh-oh, two real quicks at once.
We should have just did it. It could have been the first double real quick. Well, we fucking blew it. We choked.
I'm still holding my breath.
I was gonna say,
Go for it.
Come on, man. All right, you
Do
go.
it. You do
No,
it.
you go.
It's your
Yeah,
fucking-
all right.
it's your real quick.
Real quick. The Bucks fire coach, rookie coach, Adrian Griffin, and hire Doc Rivers.
Oh yeah.
But they were 30-13,
yeah,
and they were second in their division. I don't follow NBA that much because I hate the NBA, but
they're saying
I
that
think 30-13 is pretty
Yeah.
good. Am I
Right.
right?
They're
That
saying that
is,
they were
but I have a
playing.
theory.
They were really playing bad defense, and the players just didn't really like that guy.
And I think it may not only be that, but when you have a chance to go out and get Doc Rivers, you go out and you get Doc Rivers because Doc Rivers is the fucking man.
I could have done it at the beginning of the
But
season.
you're at 30-13.
Well, okay, Joe, but you still go out and get Doc Rivers, man. I just like Doc Rivers quite a bit. Man.
Yeah.
So do I, but
I
you're
got one.
30-13.
Real quick, the WWE signs a $5 billion contract with Netflix.
Real quick, I think that's the first time we've ever mentioned the WWE on the Ad Astra Boys Sports Podcast.
I think we should keep on. I mean, I still watch the WWE. All right, great. Yeah, thank you, Joe. That's going to be a new segment. All right, WWE shit.
yeah,
Hell yeah, bro. Real quick. You know what Travis Kelce's pregame snack is?
Ooh,
French toast with strawberries.
Oh, okay.
He lost me at strawberries, but I like the French
And
toast.
yeah, French toast with strawberries. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Hey, to each their own.
I got
Who's
another.
next?
Skip Bayless says that Barry Sanders is overrated.
I say
Wait,
that
wait, what-
Skip
what?
Bayless is a fucking jackass.
He said what?
Skip Bayless said Barry Sanders is overrated.
Nobody watches Skip Bayless anymore. He doesn't even fucking make sense. Barry Sanders,
Have you ever watched Barry Sanders run the ball?
he's
If so,
old enough.
Comment
was-
below.
Probably
best-
fucking there
the
as a
best-
40-year-old.
He's the dude. I love watching the Lions games just to watch him.
Barry
Oh,
Sanders
man, I
is
wanted-
my
I wanted to watch
favorite
every
one of
running
them.
back of all time.
He
of
played-
all time.
He played for the Lions when they were known to be the worst organization in the
He
entire
was the
NFL.
only Lion that I can watch. Barry Sanders is my favorite running back of all time. Ask Monica. Yeah, I've always said this.
You know, I got a
Everybody,
jersey at
man.
home. I got
got a
the
Barry
jersey.
Sanders
I got a
jersey?
Barry,
Bust it out. Bust it out
Next-
next week.
man.
the Nesson Mitchell.
Bust it
Yeah,
out
There
next
you
week.
go.
All right. Oh, okay. I guess I'll do it.
Real quick.